doesn't open the door on the Pontiac SUV. So is that just a cable? I haven't taken it apart.
No, it's right, just a handle. And the handle itself is broken.
Both sides.
So it's not broken.
This one opens.
Here's what it is, it's the handle that has been made on
It's
easy as
just take the panel off.
No, you might not even have to do that. Screw in there.
We need to get it posted for us. And that's
What
what we
happens
want
is
to
there's a piece of plastic in there that cable goes to. It's got an ear on it.
As long as you're not on full time.
Okay.
Get the thing from Dan saying that we need to speak into
Look real close.
When it comes to me,
It might be a cover, you might have to pop a little back side of the dime.
I just wonder if they ever listen to the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's where they pull off.
Based on the last part, justice for all. Where's the justice for the taxpayers?
That way, you know, then you have to say the whole tax. But that ain't hard. 3,000 miles, that's hard.
I'll try
So,
to.
your, the guy from Arizona, might take that all, well, you will have to take that off before you take the whole thing. We've been to walk over to that. You just have to pop it off. Good idea. Give the dirt full pop out. Make sure you got all screwed out.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
I'll try.
But,
Otherwise, I had to close down the window and open it
Be like Dukes and Hazzard, you see it on Facebook, there's no the young guys jumping in the car and the old man falls out.
So there's no correlation.
tell me somebody will go out there.
Yeah, I know.
I knew you'd be the man with the answer.
It's not gonna give some.
Return with an hour.
Which means I'll probably just have to bring it down.
They bring it, there won't be none.
She tells me I don't
It
think
is
they
10
need to sue her.
o'clock, 10 o'clock, okay, that's the way it started here. At 10 o'clock, let's start this meeting, call it to order, roll call, sir.
Commissioner Wallace.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilkinson. Commissioner Calhoun.
Here, thank you so
Board
much.
President.
As you desire, please stand for the pledge and the invocation.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sir, Heavenly Father, we ask your presence as we do the business of the county. Guide our hands, give us wisdom and courage to do our job. We ask all this in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Consent agenda is the minutes of last week's regular meeting, and thank you guys for sitting in for me, I appreciate that. We have the monthly, semi-annual, and annual report of the treasurer, and the 2020 budget for the court reporter, circuit judges, and the circuit court marshal.
Move that we approve the consent agenda.
And I second that.
And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
And that last item, Amanda, that's a different type of budget than our regular budget. How's that, why is that separated like that?
That's, it's with the 24th circuit, so it's not just our county, it's gonna be.
It's multi-level.
Right, so
Okay.
they, once you guys approve what the budget is, they send out budgets to the other circuits to let them know what they owe.
Thank you so much. There are no tabled agenda items. Regular business would be Mr. Miller is back here, and he wants to talk about a vacation of his road. We posted this 3 months ago as fulfilled by the law. And so we've had this 90-day response period. And so now, Mr. Miller, would you come up to the microphone and talk to us about what you wish done? And start with your name, please.
James Miller, it's Oak Vandy Grip Road, and it's a non-used road county because they moved the road over. And I was wanting to add that to my deed right there.
Now, as I understand it, Mr. Miller and I talked a few minutes a while ago. The old road falls, basically you can see the outline here and goes down here. And the new property survey is this blue line and here the black line. Mr. Miller's bought both of these properties now. He owns both of them. So basically, the old road description goes into your property line. Is that
Yes.
the way you understand it?
Correct, right there.
Okay. Road and Bridge, John, do you have any issues with this?
We do not. We talked to Danny Edgar, and basically we're gonna take 20 foot from the center line of Old Vandergrift Road, and that'll be our right of way.
Okay, so this is an abandoned road from, okay, the state has
Yeah,
moved.
'cause they straightened it out.
They straightened the road out some
Not the
years ago.
state, this is our
County road.
county road.
Yep.
And so we've changed the road over, straightened it out, repositioned it. And so this area that is shown on the property line is inside of your survey line. So basically, we would be abandoning that area to the 20 feet off the survey line. Is that your wish on this?
Yeah, that'd be fine,
Okay, and
yeah.
that's the way it's posted,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Okay, do I have a motion?
And this is for the, to begin the vacation, or is this to wrap it up?
This is wrapped up.
Okay, I wanna make sure I had it right. I move that we grant the request to vacate that portion of the road.
Do I have a second?
And I will second.
Do I have any questions or comments? Yes, Rich?
Do you have to define the extent of that vacation more specifically than you've just done, or does that handle it?
Well, I think handling it by going 20 feet off the center line of the new or existing roadway would be the general property description. And that probably falls outside of his survey line no matter what.
Okay.
And it probably does need a greater detail, but that would probably come from the mapper and through the assessor's office.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a motion second. All in favor of granting Mr. Miller's request, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I almost said stay off our road. But, in jest, of course. Okay, the next item would be another road vacation that we posted 90 days ago. And this is on the Eudora land property. And I've got a picture here showing the end of the existing road. Now, it's called Clover Lane here, and their mailing address is Clover Lane. Ideally, that should be called Evans Avenue, this part of it here. But we'll go with Clover Lane or whatever, however it's posted at this point. She only requested closure from this endpoint here to her property line, which is right here, to that paved road area. I'm guessing 50 feet. I don't know if it's,
It's not very much.
it's not very much. And this, again, is her survey line. As the latest information we can find, that's her existing survey line. I don't see how she will gain by that. Do we have anyone here, are you here to speak to that? Come up to the microphone, please, give us your name.
My name's Anthony Gable. I am her next door neighbor in that upper house
Right
there.
here, okay.
The only thing she wanted me to convey to y'all, she has a ramp
Yes, right.
coming from here over there down the back.
Yeah.
And she really needs that for her mother that is wheelchair bound.
Oh, her mother's wheelchair, I didn't
Yes.
know that, okay.
Yes. And that tree that you see here
Right there?
in the ice, it starts coming down all around, and it's a very large tree, and she's afraid that it may start falling off and hit her house.
All right, that is not in our.
That's beyond our
See, that
maintenance
here's
area
where
right
we
now.
end, right here, and that's beyond where we would normally go on that. And I did see the tree, and I think there's one that's, this tree here is in bad shape too, I believe,
Yeah.
but that's way far,
Yeah.
far down.
Yeah, she's not too concerned with that.
Yeah. Now, we've had, Darrell Brad, another neighbor, came in and spoke for the closure. His purpose was because of druggies and
Yeah.
undesirable traffic.
Yeah.
I
have a
don't see how this would
6-year-old
help
daughter.
that.
Hmm?
Would this help that, in your opinion? Would it
To
stop people
close
coming in?
the road?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people coming in that, I don't know how to define
Right
it.
now,
Because
we
you're only
don't
gonna
have a lot
close
of
50
traffic.
feet of the road. It's not like
Yeah,
you're
yeah, you're only
gonna
gonna
shut the
close
road
this
down
area
at
right
the
here.
corner.
That's the only, like, for instance, your property will not be, the road in front of your property won't be closed. The way it was posted,
Yeah.
the way she requested it. So it's just this area right here is all. And, we had another person come in, the owner of this property over here, Mrs. Winnick, however you pronounce it, and she requested that it not change because of future access from this point to her property over here.
Mhm.
And I've been on the site, and I can tell you that the yellow arrows point to an elevated road bed, a railroad
Yes.
bed,
Yeah.
and it's, what, 10 feet above ground
Give or
level?
take,
It's
yeah.
high, it's high. And then right on the backside is this dry creek bed, when it was dry when I was there. and rocky bottom, and it's several feet below normal ground level. There's probably 20 feet elevation change from here to the bottom of that creek.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a trip to get across there without a bridge.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that'd be a way down the road if anybody tries to do that. Okay, we've heard pros and cons. Do I have a motion?
I moved
Do you have
it.
any other comments?
Well, I'd just like to comment that I do have a 6-year-old daughter, and we have our grandkids over, and without the extra traffic, it makes a great, it's a little safer for our kids,
Okay.
without the extra traffic coming through as a through street would do.
And you think 20 or 30 feet of that road vacated would change that? Maybe I'm
I was
missing.
just there on behalf of Eudora, I didn't know if the
Yeah, she-
decision had been made on the road itself.
And she notified she could not be here today, and she was in
Yeah.
a neighbor. She, yeah.
The main thing she wanted to convey is that she really needs to keep that ramp, and she
Yeah.
wanted me to say something about the tree.
Well, just to clarify, it's not gonna be a through road,
Okay.
and nor is there any intentions of a through road
No,
from our standpoint.
Yeah, we've not planned any change
No.
whatsoever in there. And basically, she's outside, is she outside of this line now with her ramp?
The ramp does go a little bit to this side of that sidewalk. It's pretty much centered on the sidewalk,
Is that
it's
the
a much
sidewalk
wider
right there?
ramp.
Yes. Is this vehicle, is that a vehicle?
Yeah, they're all in the backyard now, none of those vehicles
Okay.
are there.
But with relationship to that vehicle, where is the sidewalk?
To the left,
Yeah, it's hard to
Right
see,
here?
but it's just right in here.
that shaded area.
Okay. So that's how, so basically, she's inside her survey marker.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't see any change there. So do I have a pro or con motion? And I guess we need to make this positive.
Yeah, I make a motion that we grant the request to vacate that portion of Olive.
Evans Avenue is the official name. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any comments or questions? All in favor of granting the motion to close that road, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, or all opposed? No. The road will be closed. I don't know what the technique is on that.
We'll just put our county maintenance ends right there at the property
Okay.
line.
Okay, so I guess at this point, that's officially closed from here to there.
And it falls on the responsibility of the owner to work out the legalities with an attorney. They have to bear the cost, not the county.
The cost of.
The recording of this action.
It's
at
their
the recorder's office.
responsibility. It's
But
not
it
the.
doesn't change any property lines.
Right.
See that? There's property
Well, if
lines.
there's fees, that would be a resident,
It'd be the responsibility of the owner, not the
Okay.
county.
if there is. I'm not saying there is, I don't know.
Okay, how would she find out?
Recorder's office downstairs.
Okay.
As far as we're concerned, I guess just posting of a sign is.
That's
Yeah.
all we're gonna do, that's all we've ever done on any of the other roads that have been vacated
How
by
many
the
people
county.
live on that road?
Well, there's what, 3 houses up there, up in this
There's
area?
that one, mine, Daryl's, and then another neighbor, and that's where the corner is. You go around the corner, and there's a little mini trailer park up there.
Well, at that point, you're on Clover Lane
Yeah.
officially. So
And
Clover
at,
Lane,
at that corner, there's a ranch or a farm just on the right of that corner.
okay, so we're officially closed from there to there. And, I guess you take that off the county mileage records, and go from 393 miles to 392.999. But, that's it, and so tell Eudora it's been passed. But thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming in. Okay, corrected assessed value, is our auditor, or appraiser gonna come in, or anybody gonna address this?
I'll cover it.
Okay, go ahead.
Some years back, I don't know exactly when, Mr. House had purchased a dump trailer, and somehow it got to be classified as other than a dump trailer, and he paid over taxes over quite a few years. He'd approached us in the last part of last year and requested a refund. We recognize that there's some error on our part, some error on his part, and so there's some idea that we can share the burden with him on that. However, we can only go back about 3 years, and if we do that, it would result in a refund of $247.36 to him, and I think it's been reclassified as it's correctly supposed to be.
This particular item is just way over appraised. It was,
Oh, yes,
the
yes.
description was not clear enough.
Now, really, responsibility on the owner's part would be, every year you've gotta sign your personal property tax record that they send you to verify or correct or whatever. So really, that should have maybe been caught before they got this far along. I don't know, I'm not saying it did, but it could. So, but the county did initially get it under a wrong classification, so I believe, and I'll make the motion that we do agree to refund $247.36 for the last 3 years that was overtaxed, 16, 17, and 18.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Pat?
Is that paperwork gonna be done through the assessor's office?
I think it has been done. The correction of the current appraisal. Is that your
No, I
question?
mean, so we can refund it.
Okay.
Do you need an order to do that, or what?
The assessor's office would need to do the paperwork so that we can refund the money.
Okay. I think immediately they reappraised that piece of, that item and did that.
Give you the breakdown.
And
Yes.
also, would it be best if we issue a credit for coming taxes or cut a check?
We can do either one.
I like the idea of issuing the credit. I don't know if that's best
That
system.
would be between the assessor.
Okay, system-wide, I don't know if that's easier, but it just sounds more common sense to me. But anyway, any other comments, questions? Okay, I have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you so much. Request to waive penalty and interest from a Tara Sims. Is that you, ma'am?
That's my daughter.
Okay, would you come up to the microphone and start with your name, please?
I'm sure. My name's Carrie Sims, and in 2015, my daughter got divorced, and we came in after the divorce and thought we had separated her and her ex-husband's personal properties out. She since moved to St. John County, and when we went to do her when she went to pay her taxes this year for St. John County, they told her that she still owed 2015s for St. Francis County. However, we were able to get her tags on her vehicle in 2017, and I've got the paperwork that shows when the License Bureau, checked for 15s and 16s, that it shows that they verified. So we're not sure how,
Okay. Was the ex-husband paying taxes on that also?
He didn't pay taxes on anything.
Okay. So the question is, yes, Pam?
Okay, the assessor's office did a court order to separate them actually in 2019, going back to 2015 taxes. So when they paid their 16, or their previous years, everything was okay because they didn't have a 15 bill in her name. It wasn't until 2019 that they put this bill into her name.
Okay. So do we have any unpaid taxes out there?
The 2015.
15.
But I did come in and pay them last week.
So you have paid that?
I paid them and all the penalties and everything.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. So now we're trying to get penalty and interest waived for that time?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we were under the impression that the taxes were paid, because I had came in 16 and taken care of all of her stuff, and like I said, we separated it all out and everything like that.
Okay.
Do you have an amount that was overpaid or penalty?
I think I do from the receipt that she gave me the other day when I came
Do you
in.
know offhand?
She's got it in her hand. She had to get licensed, so she had to go ahead and pay it before today.
The penalty was $331.16.
That's penalty and interest?
Penalty and interest, yes.
Okay. And did you get that dollar amount down? What?
$331.16.
33116. Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
331.16.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd make the motion that we refund the amount of $331.16 for the penalty and interest phase of this particular bill.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm confused, but if you commissioners feel, what's the difference in the the tax still has to be paid, correct?
It has been paid.
Okay, it has been paid.
Yeah.
What about separate the interest from the penalty? I mean, in the past, I think we've always, we've given some help, but, you know, the tax still needs to be paid.
Well, the taxes have been paid, and she's asking for penalty and interest to be refunded.
Oh, okay, all right.
Is that correct?
Yes, because we had assumed that, I mean, like I said, when we went and got her tags in 17, it, you know, it shows on the thing 2015, 2016, and both of them show verified. She moved from St. Francis County to St. John County in 2016 and lost a bunch of paperwork in the move. So I had just assumed that she had already paid the 15s.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, any questions, comments? I have a motion, a second, to waive this penalty in an amount of $331.16. And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And thank you for getting those caught up in time. Job position change from the IT. We've had a resignation from one of our IT people, and we'd like to move another person into that position that's already with us. Go ahead, Dan.
Dan Duggan, IT. It's my recommendation to the commission, again, like Commissioner Gallagher has advised, that, you know, we did lose a position, an IT supervisor position last month, and I'm looking to, recommending that we promote Dwayne Looney, who's been with us for 6 years, to that open position as IT supervisor.
I'll make a comment. That's him back there, and he's already fixed his computer today.
Yeah, I don't
Fixed a lot of stuff.
I don't know about this. I'm struggling with this.
I'll make a comment too. Dwayne Looney does a great job. He really does.
And then that thing about being a nice guy, well, let's don't talk about that. Let's don't bring that up. This is an official meeting. Let's don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's for the past several years, again, he's been in this as far as any issues that's happened here at the annex in the courthouse, and it's just promoting that open vacant position, so.
I'd be happy to move that we move him to the position of supervisor under your direction, and glad to have him.
Motion?
And I will most certainly second.
Okay. This is a bigger job with more responsibilities, and there'll be another person hired. We've advertised for another person to fill that other position. And so he's got his work cut out for him, and there'll be a bump in pay because of that change in job description and everything.
I got that question for our HR person, because I don't know, we've done it different ways. When somebody gets a promotion to a level like that, do they assume that person's pay grade, or do we have a formula for that? Because
Probably, I don't know, probably it's on the step and level grid that supervisor.
So it may, if he didn't have as many years, he would get a increase, but not necessarily to the level where the person left. And not just for this one, I'm talking about for anybody that leaves.
Could you clarify some of that, or do you know?
There's not a specific formula. I think it's always just been done how it was in the past, and that I don't know. But this one, there is a bump because it's a different level.
In the past, what we've done is they kept their step. So if he's been here 6 years, he would stay at step 6, but then just move to the IT supervisor pay at step 6.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I bring this up. I think our HR person needs to clarify that, because as we moves within the departments, we need to be able to say, no, that's what your salary level will be, because we do, rather than just saying, well, you know, well, we did it over here, then one time we did it over this way. So part of that personnel manual, if we can just clarify that, so everybody will know that if that person had 20 years, not forget about this situation, 20 years experience, and you had 2, but you're going to take that new position, you may not be making the same salary because of all the other things. So we just need to clarify that a little bit, because people come in and ask, and then we're going, what did they do in the past? Well,
Depends on when you ask about it.
Yeah.
I agree, consistency is important.
Industry, you don't automatically take the previous guy's pay scale. That doesn't work that way at all. So, okay, got a motion? Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Well, we've been talking about this for months, and we're still waiting for Human Resources to present something. And until there's something in black and white, not referring to this subject, we need to have something established.
Okay.
And it's gotta come from HR.
We're not talking about policy, we're talking about, well, are we talking policy here?
Yes?
It sounds to me like you're talking about policies that need to be written into that.
Okay. Well, now, are the
Plan
the pay scales, is that part of the policy or is that a separate bracket?
Well, to me, not speaking as an HR specialist, it would go hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, the policy could refer to that updated schedule.
Should.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I think that would lend consistency to what we do and how we've done, whatever. So I think it's coming, she's got her plate full, I know, that she's coming right in.
Do we want to address this?
Yeah.
Put some, kind of put that on the.
Well, she's gonna have recommendations for you. What time frame will we look at? I just wanna make sure that that was included part of it.
Within the first few months, I think is what we're doing the internal control audit in March, so by then.
Okay, well, maybe we can get the policies updated for everything else besides those pay, levels before that. And then you guys can bless that, and we can have it in and go to the individual pay levels at that time, if that's, would be acceptable to you.
Okay, and I haven't taken a vote on this item, have I?
No. Nope.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, and Dwayne, good to have you. We've had you all along, but we're proud of that, so thank you.
Harold, Rich, if I may, should the conversation we've just had taken place before the job position change was requested, rather than do it now as we're in the middle of talking about a job change for Dwayne?
I don't think so. I think the conversation led from that action, which is appropriate. But, the conversation that we had is past due. We need to get that done.
We had the conversation as far as the position. The question is in the compensation, and we want to clarify that there is a policy set up for the compensation. You're exactly right, and that's what, in the future, anytime a position comes open, then somebody should be able to know if they take that position, what exact level of pay that would be at.
Yes, sir.
That's
And we want to handle all of our people fairly and equitably, and I think we did that here. There was a job requirement, job change involved, more duties involved, it's in the budget, and he's replacing a person that resigned. So I think we followed our procedure, if not, you know, our updated policy on that.
Yeah.
Okay, next item is inmate healthcare contract. Mr. Sheriff.
I'd like Linda has the contract. You don't
It's
have,
signed, they already signed it, it's sent back to Kim.
well, I get Sheriff Dan Bullock, I don't need to talk about this because you've already done it.
Okay.
Send it back to my office.
Okay.
It's a done deal, thank you.
But, I mean, they signed it today, and they all have a copy of it. The signed copy.
Yeah, we've
Sent
seen it.
back. So-
I know you've seen it, but have we taken any official action? Do we have to take official action on it?
We can do
Because
that.
I think this was just rubber stamping the fact that we were issuing this contract. So if that's the case, all you do have to do is make a motion.
It's on the agenda, we can't
Yeah,
act
yeah,
on it.
you can act on it.
We've seen the contract, have a motion to approve that contract.
I move to approve the contract as, I guess it's already, and that has already been signed, sorry. Well, already stated that way.
It's an existing contract.
It's just basically extension. isn't it?
Extension.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an ongoing.
I'm not saying that we have to take an action since it's an extension, but if you want to just
Okay.
cover yourself,
That's fine.
then make the motion that you extend the contract as submitted.
Any questions?
Just to let you know, no other healthcare companies bid on our healthcare for inmates, so this is the only one we have.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I knew you was gonna ask me.
Well.
Okay, I have a motion second to extend the existing inmate healthcare contract. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Thank you.
One more.
Come back here, Sheriff. Jail administrator position.
Hi. Lieutenant Dennis Smith resigned as of December 31st, 2019, took his retirement, gonna do some traveling. I have decided instead of making a law enforcement position there, I want to hire a jail administrator. like to have someone with some background in corrections and law enforcement too, to oversee the daily operations of the jail. 20 years ago, when I hired Mr. Smith, I needed someone that could set up a chain of command. He'd been in the military many years, had several people work underneath him. He'd done that job well for many years, but he's, like I say, moved on, taking his retirement, and I'm looking to hire someone, but change the name of that position to a jail administrator.
And we'll have to work up a pay scale system for that because
Yes,
of the new
we're
title.
back to the same thing again, and I have the money in my budget because we haven't replaced Mr. Smith, but we probably won't start that person in at the amount that he was making when he came here to address what we talked about just a few minutes ago.
Okay. Do I have a motion? And what we're asking is permission to advertise for this job.
Yes, and actually, this position is not,
Create a position.
we need to create this position because there is no such thing.
Okay. And you're gonna cancel that other, what was the other title?
It was a lieutenant with the sheriff department. I'm not really getting rid of that
Okay.
Jailer, or maybe.
position, but he was overseer of the jail facility there in that position.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of motion we need. We're not creating, we are creating a position, but yet we're changing the.
Motion to create that position,
That-
I think.
That's all I needed, just to create this position, because we don't have it at this time. I can't hire a jail administrator. I could hire an officer and make him over the jail, but this actually creates that position.
I would move that we create the jail administrator position for the sheriff's department.
And I'd second the motion.
Any questions?
Commissioners, the sheriff and I have talked it over, and we're also looking, he is also looking for someone with a business background as well.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor of creating the new position of jail administrator, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much, Dan, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next meeting, 1 week from today, right here. No,
No.
1 week from tomorrow, right here. Okay, and I did get 2020 correct on that. I did change it once too. Other business, anyone have correspondence? Public comments? Departmental reports? I just ran out of stuff.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
I hear you need me?
Yes, I do.